Claiming to want inclusion and diversity by excluding people because of their skin color is an absolutely ridiculous claim because you're instantly proving your hypocrisy. And I feel like so many people who claim to want things like diversity literally always do this, and we're seeing it happen again by a pretty big and pretty prominent League of Legends player and esports personality. Someone who is or was a professional League of Legends player, a caster, and a coach for not one, two different teams. Someone who has a significant social media following, and someone who I would assume has seriously damaged their career in the gaming industry now. So I want to start off with an article and then move to a couple of different tweets, but the article by dailyesports.gg says Froskurinn comments on diversity within esports broadcasting. So roughly a week after announcing her departure from the League of Legends European Championship, or the LEC, which we are going to reference a couple of times, Froskurinn has some comments on diversity within esports broadcasting that she's made, and here's what she had to say. As always, very excited for the LEC to begin and watch my peers continue to thrive. That team is freaking amazing. She here starts off this message and this post very positively, and by the way, this post is still up for you to comment on and for everyone to comment on, which I'm not saying go and comment on it, I'm just pointing out that it's still up. Then it goes completely downhill, and she says, that said, we really need to talk about diversity in esports broadcasts, because holy heck, that is a lot of white. Just blindingly white, as far as the eye can see. You guessed it. White. See, this person might be unfamiliar with this thing, but a lot of people know what it is, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know what it is too, because you're pretty smart. It's this thing that's called racism, when you hold a prejudice against someone due to their race, and well, you know, that's kind of what's going on here. This person, who was a coach for League of Legends on two different teams, a caster and a pro player, is literally calling people out for their skin color, saying that basically white people should get out of the way for people of color, and probably, I'd assume they feel this way as well, more women instead of men in the industry. And I really think that calling people out because of their skin color is really disgusting, and as a woman, I would never ask for there to be less white people or even less men to be in an industry, because they deserve the role and the job, potentially. I mean, I'd assume it's just as simple as that. I want people to be hired based on their skills if they fit into the role best, and if they deserve the role in the job, like I said, it's as simple as that. They get it. Would I love to see more women casting? Yeah, of course, but I wouldn't demand a man give up their position just because of their gender or even their skin color. And there's a lot of people who disagree with her post. I want to point out a few, and then I want to go to someone else in the esports industry who has called her out, basically. So someone said, by saying this, you are implying that the current on-air crew was selected based on their skin color and not their talent, skill, or hard work. This is an extreme disservice to the team you used to be a part of. Scrolling down slightly, someone said, as long as people join thanks to their merits and not the color of their skin, then it's all good. Now, I wanted to quickly head back to the article that we initially started the video off with, because I feel like there are two paragraphs here that are extremely important, that give a lot of context to the situation that Froskurinn conveniently left out of her rant about how esports broadcasting is blindingly white. So, it says, while she is right that there certainly isn't a lot of skin color diversity, especially in the LEC, there is a lot of representation from different countries. Trevor Quickshot Henry is from South Africa. There is a player or a person, esports personality from Belgium, and there's also someone from France, for example. Outside of the LEC, there is a lot of Asian representation, especially in South Korea and China. Froskurinn is right about one thing, that there aren't many big black esports personalities, but there are some, and I did want to just say that. And also, if we look at the broader gaming industry, there are plenty of black players that are part of esports that maybe even want to be esports casters, but they're not given the chance, not because of their skin color, I'm sure, but because of their skills and what they can bring to the table for these companies. We know that these companies like Riot and also other companies like Blizzard are extremely picky with who casts for them, who, gets a job, who gets a role in their industry, in their company in general. So we do know that these companies are extremely picky, and I'm sure they're not picky looking at skin color, they're picky looking at skills and what these players have to bring to the table. So someone had actually commented, "This is such an Americanized view. Being white in Europe is not the same as being white in the United States of America," and I do just want to point out that she was part of the League of Legends European Championship, so of course it says Swedish and Ukrainian people both get viewed as white, but they are so different in culture and experience. This is a really bad take for Europe. Now, I want to go to another tweet that was made by Thorin, the esports historian, 222,000 followers on Twitter. So sad and disappointed to see someone of Froskurinn's stature reduce a broadcast to the skin color of the participants. She can be so much better than this, but not as long as bitterness and bigotry governs her heart. 2.2k likes, tons of retweets, tons of comments. He continued on though by saying, "I legitimately regret helping and promoting her career, knowing she may now use her influence to prevent talented and hardworking people from accomplishing their dreams on the basis that they have the wrong skin color or genitals for her or were over quota." Like I said, I think that if someone deserves the role, they have the skill, they have the experience, they should be the ones to get the job. Someone should not get a job like this based on their skin color or their gender. Again, I'd love to see a ton more females in esports, but I'd rather see people with more skill, the most skill and the most experience. He continued, though, which he did make quite a few comments on this, saying, "There are a finite number of spots on any broadcast. To hire someone other than the people hired means one of them loses their job. To suggest otherwise is not just disingenuous, but cowardly." You'll notice she didn't highlight a single potential candidate for this person. Similarly, if it's such an important point for her, what efforts has she put into finding, helping, and promoting the kinds of people that she wants to hire? Another great point here, if you do feel passionately about something, you should push for it. If you do believe there are, people of color who deserve to be casters, who have the experience, who have the skill, point them out. Start posting on them on your social media pages. All of them, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you have, start promoting them. Or if you see someone with a ton of talent that's maybe a Twitch streamer or a social media personality who wants to get into this space, start promoting them, start helping them, start making that effort. And she isn't making that effort. He continued by saying, "I myself have considerable skin in the game on this topic and have done exactly what I'm suggesting she has not. Difference is I did it based on their merit, not their genitals or ethnicity." I completely agree with most of what he says here, 99% of what he says here, 100% of what he says here, really. Gotta leave that 1% just in case he decides to say something else, but I do really agree with everything that he's saying. I do think that it is so true that it is disappointing to see someone like her saying these things. I'm just disappointed with the way that this caster and player and coach is acting, because she's the type of person that does have an impact on esports, and instead of doing good for, women and representing women and also trying to push people into the industry who have the potential, who might be people of color, she's making all of us look bad, all gamers look bad. She's also making females look really bad, and that pisses me off. And, you know, I'm someone who takes esports and the gaming industry extremely seriously, and it's this type of situation that makes people go, oh, she's just a female in gaming. Does it really matter what she has to say? Because then the rest of us don't get taken as seriously as we hoped. Plus, she's virtually damaged her career at this point because there are a lot of people like Thor in here, and also just members of Twitter, who are extremely ticked off at her comments because these are pretty racist comments. But let everyone know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.